Welcome, one and all, to Swapping Joysticks, your greatest moment in the week. All of you. This is definitely the best moment. And welcome, I am the one, the only, Ben Ostwick, and I'm joined, as always, by the one, the only, Ed Nightingale.
Evening.
How are you doing
How's it
there?
going?
How are you doing?
All right. I'm all right. How are you? So I was in the middle of like sipping some water and then suddenly you went live.
Well, I did say, shall I go live now? And you went, yeah. And then decided to guzzle.
Well, I need to lubricate.
Well, welcome. This is Swapping Joysticks, your home of LGBT gaming news, views, and interviews. Oh.
Oh.
Well, we had
Is
views
that
twice in it, so it didn't quite work.
is that where you're going?
Sure, why not? We had interviews last week. We had the lovely, lovely, lovely Kelsey from Annapurna.
That's very true.
That was
If
great.
you weren't here, go back and listen.
Yeah,
It was
honestly,
wonderful.
it was actually a decent podcast. I mean, it's always a decent podcast, but
For
I would,
once.
yeah, just it's one of those that maybe in a while I'll go. Yeah, I want to listen back to that because she's really entertaining. But yeah, I am so drained today. Which is a great way to start the podcast, I know, and be like saying, "Oh, I'm so tired and whiny," and yeah, I'm. It's bloody hot here.
It really is.
Mm.
It really is.
Yeah, it's probably next Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be 37 degrees, and it's been like 30 a few times this week.
I cannot with that. Anything above like 5 degrees is too hot for me.
Yeah.
Like give me the cold. I want clear skies.
Mm-hmm.
But I want cold. I want to be sat indoors, like in a cozy jumper, when it's cold outside. I want heat only from like a log fire.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
I like that as well. And I'm somebody whose body temperature like takes forever to change. Like I'll get really warm, and then it will take about 45 minutes for my body temperature to realize that I don't need to have a warm body temperature and I can calm down and cool down. It's the worst. So yeah, when it's hot, it'll take me 45 minutes or so for my body to just stop sweating. Which is not good. Which you don't particularly like.
Yeah,
I'm a bit like a radiator.
You are, but this heat is just not fun for anyone. It's too much. Please, world, please just stop.
Cool. Yeah, we've got Jono in the chat who's in Australia, and he says it's 4 degrees.
Oh my god, please can we swap?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, you're one of the few people that would want to go to Australia for its winter.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I hope everybody in the chat is doing well and everybody listening is as well. And I hope you're, hydrating and staying cool. This is a very special podcast because literally straight after stream, I'm going to pack my bags. And tomorrow morning, we're off to Amsterdam.
We are very, very early.
Oh,
I've realized how early we need to get up, and I'm not happy about it.
Like 5 a.m., right?
Yeah.
5 a.m.
Too early.
Yeah, 5 a.m.
Too
is
early.
Just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I've got to go and literally. So I finished off my shopping for the holiday tonight. That's the reason why the podcast is an hour late, because I was doing my holiday shopping. And they do have shops in Amsterdam, that's true, but I don't trust them. Yeah, don't trust any of those foreign clothes. So I went to Massimo Dutti and
that well-known British store.
Yeah, British store, Massimo Dutti and Uniqlo. I thought Uniqlo was meant to be like dirt cheap.
Ish.
Guess how much a pair of trainer socks cost? Just a plain pair of trainer socks.
Like a tenner?
No, it was £5, but I still think that was ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
£5.
How much?
I know, bloody hell. Oh, should wear a stripy shirt and a freaking mask. Christ.
I mean, Uniqlo does have some expensive stuff. You can buy, a jumper for like
socks.
90 quid or something, but most of the stuff is quite simple and basic.
They're not even full-sized socks. They're trainer socks. They should be at least half price.
I think this t-shirt's Uniqlo, actually.
Yeah, well, that was quite nice, actually.
Thanks.
Yeah, and then I went to Pull and Bear, or because it's Spanish as well. I think Pull and Bear and Massimo Dutti are actually owned by the same. I think they're both Inditex. And Pull and Bear went in Spain. Whenever anybody went there, it was always Pull and Beer, Pull and Beer. This is my so that's my favorite shop. And
It's
every
like
time
a
I see it,
Saturday night out.
yeah, pull and beer, beer and pull usually. Yeah, but they do very
Not
nice.
necessarily.
They do very nice shorts. They're a great fit, and they've got a slight bit of like, kind of
Give.
stretch to them. Yeah, they're like, you know what, you can go like a size higher and a size lower, and you're probably gonna still fit in no matter what. Yeah, I don't
Let's
need.
not test that.
Yeah, exactly, Manatee. I don't need. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna go and go shopping in the Netherlands. I don't want any clogs or any kind of frilly dresses. I'm fine.
I think we should buy some clogs
Mm,
just for the lols.
but where? They're on the stair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, no, I don't. The only shopping I want to do in Amsterdam is for cheese and
Oh, yeah.
stroopwafels.
Okay, stroopwafels are apparently how I say that. They will not make it back to the UK, but cheese, absolutely, we're bringing that back, and then it's going to be really sweaty and smelly by the time it comes back, which makes it more delicious, right?
I like it when cheese sweats.
Really?
Yeah, like a nice sweaty. Oh, what cheese did I used to get that was really sweaty? I think. Oh, it was my cured. So it was cured goat's cheese.
Oh,
Really
I'm not
nice.
here for goat's cheese.
But cured sweaty goat's cheese is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
My thing is usually how many free samples can you get when you go to the cheese shop without actually buying anything?
Are you cheese? Are you cheap?
No, but
No,
it's
isn't
just
it?
a fun game
Get
of
yourself-
like sweet talking about, oh, I'd just love to try this one. Oh, it's delicious. Thank you. Bye.
See, I love goat's cheese, and you can tell the quality of a restaurant. And I can't remember which. I think it was the hotel inspector, and I don't really like her, but because she's a Tory. But she was doing she was in a. Oh no, it was like the hotel inspector, but it was like the restaurant inspector, and it wasn't Gordon Ramsay or anything like that. But the person said that you can tell the quality of a restaurant by ordering a goat's cheese salad and seeing what their goat's cheese is like. And if it's kind of like a melted large piece that's got like other bits and all sorts on it, then it's a really good one. But if it's that cheap, nasty stuff that they just chop into kind of small slices, no.
I have no time for goat's cheese. Goat's cheese to me tastes like what I imagine sucking on a goat's hoof would taste like.
No, that's a steak and
It's
kidney
really
pie.
like it's got a really like farmy taste to it. I really hate it.
Well, I will convince you to like it.
No, you will not. You will not manage that.
Steak and kidney. So half my family are, farmers. So like whenever I have steak and kidney pie, which once I had it, maybe twice, it tastes just like a cow shed smells like. It is not a nice smell. Yeah, I'm glad that the chat agrees that goat's cheese is lovely.
No, I'm not here for goat's cheese, and
Maybe
I'm
you
not here
just-
for blue cheese either.
Maybe you just haven't had the right goat's cheese.
They all taste the same.
I don't even mind blue cheese if I'm really hungry.
Ooh, no. Why would you want to eat like goat hoof and mold?
They don't usually put the
don't
hoof
understand
in.
that.
If they're adding the hoof, then it's a very cheap cheese you're getting.
No.
Baked goats. Oh, goat's cheese. I just thought, oh yeah, I love a baked goat. Anyway, yeah, so that is Amsterdam tomorrow. Why are we going to Amsterdam? We haven't even said.
I mean, I think people know.
You're on a work trip.
I'm on a work trip. Yes, exactly. I'm on a very important work trip. You lot are all getting pissed, so have fun.
Yeah, I will. As if you're not going to get pissed. Oh wait, you're allowed to say that. You're on a work stew. You'll be in bed by 8 o'clock, or
Well, I did tell my boss. Well, he said that there's a at St Pancras there's like a wannabe Weatherspoons pub, and I was like, oh great, shots at 7 a.m. and he said, yeah, don't expense those. So, so yeah, I won't be expensing any alcohol.
No. What will you be expensing? Are you going to be really, really hungry when you're expensing and be like, yeah, I definitely got 2 pizzas for myself?
No, I'll just expense a lunch for me, and you can deal with it.
Wow. Well,
I'm
at
not
least you're
expensing your lunch.
expensing the hotel. Getting a
I can
free
only
trip.
buy for other people if it's a client and it has to be a really important meeting.
Okay, we need to. Well, would you like to interview someone like Mr. Wibble?
I said important client.
Wow. Jesus. Poor Mr. Wibble. But yeah, so it is TwitchCon, the con for all the Twitchers. and we actually flew. Well, yeah, we did because it was a group effort. We flew in Microsoft Flight Simulator yesterday, all the way to Amsterdam, and then went in this little kind of drone and flew that around. Well, the RAI where it's being held.
You say flew.
I was in the air for most of it.
I feel like you crashed it around Amsterdam and various places.
Well, it's not my fault that the buildings are just weirdly rendered. So, like Microsoft Flight Simulator, let's go into the games we've been playing because that was what I've been playing. I've updated it. I added the Amsterdam or the Netherlands. I think it was like the Netherlands, Belgium, and somewhere else around there that they've added as like an update. So I updated it, and it's great because you've got these really well modeled, landmarks in Amsterdam. But everything else, it's kind of, they've obviously taken it from an image and built it around it, but it's just, the thing that I was using was this kind of drone-esque thing. It wasn't technically a helicopter, but it controlled just like one, because I don't think the helicopter update's been added yet. But the buildings, when you get close to them, those buildings are not for going close up. From a cruising altitude of 5,000 feet, they look amazing. It looks stunning and then very, very realistic. Then you get a little bit closer or you kind of land in the canals and you realize that, no, it looks nothing like what it actually is.
It is called Microsoft Flight Simulator, not Microsoft Hover Simulator.
Well, landing is part of flying, I think.
Yeah, but on an airstrip, not in a canal.
It was a giant
The canal
drone.
did look beautiful, to be fair. It was some very nice water texture.
Yeah, unfortunately, we ended up upside down in... Was it a tree or a building? I can't remember.
It was a building.
It was a building, yeah. But the building was very weirdly morphed. But yeah, that game's still awesome. It's still incredibly badly optimized. Usually I have to... See, I've got a 3080, and it usually takes about 3 attempts to start up. Also, the autopilot on certain aircraft is completely bugged. It just does not do it. It'll just go into like a downward spiral. Which maybe it's just autopilot in my life. Yeah. So that's
it's a metaphor. That's what it is.
I think
when
so.
you autopilot, it's a downward spiral.
Yeah, exactly. So that means you've got to work. If you're sad, you must work on it, which is terrible advice.
Yes.
Edward Nightingale, what have you been lecking this week?
Lecking?
That's Yorkshire. Are you lecking? It means that you're playing. What are you like? I don't
like that.
No. I don't like common speech.
Are you lecking? No, I'm not licking. What are you asking
lecking.
me?
Are you lecking?
Yeah, but it sounds like licking, and that's weird to me.
Well, don't lick.
Yeah, don't lick your cartridges or your discs. Don't do that.
Oh, God, what were you going to say then? But yeah, so I'm definitely Googling this. Wiki lecking.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Not licking. It's probably... Oh, no, it's not that one. I feel like it would be on... What's it called again? What's the Wikipedia that's for...
Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary, that's it.
Well, you need Country Dictionary if it's from Yorkshire.
How dare you? Urban Dictionary lecking. Commonly used. Yeah. Commonly used in Yorkshire, meaning to play or to join in an activity. Hey, Walker, you're lecking out. That is the correct one. There you go.
Are you lecking out?
Lecking, yeah. Means that you're playing out. Coming out. There you go.
It means something.
You're not licking out, pervert.
Right? That's
Lecking
what it
out.
sounds like.
Commonly used in Yorkshire.
Oh, you're lecking out, not your mum. Like.
Well, what has Edward Nightingale been playing on his home games video consoles?
I don't talk like that.
What has been reacting to the buttons you've been pressing on those contraptions in front of you? Here we can see Edward Nightingale playing a modern video game. What have you been playing, Ed? Anything scary?
What? Yes.
Oh.
Well, actually, no. To be honest, no. I played a few things this week. Actually, I finally finished Cyberpunk at the weekend.
Cyberpunk. Was it worth it?
No.
Why did
It
you
was
play
not
it to
worth
the
it
end
at
then?
all. Why?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, I mean, you can have an opinion on something, obviously, without having finished it, but I feel like you're not going to have a complete opinion unless you've sort of seen at least most of the game and finished the main story. I finished the main story. I didn't finish all the side quests, which I'm annoyed about because it meant that I didn't bang any men. Actually,
Yeah.
I did bang a man on the street. I didn't bang him. I didn't have
Go
a
back the game.
romance. Well, um,
When did you go to
I
Amsterdam?
did try and bang the policeman, but he basically went no homo at me, which was very disappointing. But yeah, I finished the main story. The ending, I'm going to save most thoughts because I think we might do a video on it at some point. But the ending was very disappointing. It gives you sort of story choices as to what you want to do, and I just feel like none of them are particularly satisfying. So the story I had, I was like, that's not the ending that I really envisaged for my character, but sure. And the gameplay's awful, and the world is boring, and just the whole thing was just really dissatisfying. So I skipped the end credits, and then I promptly deleted it from my hard drive, and I will not be downloading that again.
That is a
But at
big
least I've done it.
insult. That is a big insult because you never delete anything off your hard drive.
Oh, I do. I don't have
Really?
enough space. Games are too big nowadays. I need to swap them all around. So I need the space. Cyberpunk is out.
Do you still have Fantasia on it? Fuck it. Do I live on a freaking motorway today? Jesus Christ.
I did hear that.
Oh.
Do you mean Fantavision?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, but that's literally like half a gig, so that's fine.
You're gonna play it?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe is my answer to most things.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I've ticked that off. I have one more hunt to do in Monster Hunter, and then I am finished with the main game and ready for Sunbreak, which I am still yet to download because I was thinking to treat myself for TwitchCon to a new game, and I was thinking, oh, I should really get Sunbreak. But the thing is that Monster Hunter is so much more fun when you're playing online with other people, and I can't really do that on the train. And if it's jumping up to like master rank, it's going to be really tricky, and I don't really want to be doing that on my own. So I feel like it's not really worth it for the train journey. But I do have some other games yet to play. I still haven't finished Shining Pearl, Pokemon, and I've got a couple of other like indie games that I haven't played either. So I've probably got enough. I just really like that sort of thing of, oh, you go on a holiday, like you've got a long journey, treat yourself to a game.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like starting a game that I've not played. And I don't know whether to do it. Such as either like Dragon Quest 11 is one of them.
Okay.
Another one is Triangle Strategy.
I think you should start that so that I can take it from you when you're done.
I mean, you can, like, if I don't choose it, you can just play that. You can play that if you prefer on the train.
Don't tempt me with a new RPG.
New RPG, yeah.
Like I've got enough of them to play through.
Okay, well you do that, and I'll play Dragon Quest 11 because people seem to love that.
No.
Yeah, because it's still, look at it, it's unopened. It is.
Can I rip the cellophane?
You can rip the cellophane off it as well.
Lovely.
Yeah, here it is. Look at that. Oh, can you hear the sound of it unopened as well?
The problem is that I'm going to get really into that, and then I won't play Horizon. I won't play Final Fantasy 14. I won't play Final Fantasy 12. I won't play however many other games that I want to play through that are really long.
Zach says rip Red Dead playthrough. No, Red Dead is the main game I'm playing on stream, but I mean this will be a game I play off stream. Also, speaking of streams, TwitchCon, I will be streaming every now and again when I can. I need to go and find out what like the data situation is on it, because I still got that thing where I can actually stream relatively decent quality, and the upload is quite a low bit rate with that fancy app that I had, and the way that I was doing like a direct stream. So expect, stick on the notifications, and when I go live, I won't really advertise it because I'll be like, okay, I've got 30 minutes now. Why don't I just stream for a bit?
Have you packed your gimbal?
I've packed fuck all, Ed. I got into the house about an hour ago. I haven't even packed. Well, actually, no, I've packed one pair of socks. That is the literal only thing that is inside my suitcase. Is one pack of socks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to
Great.
stream from the bars so that there will be everybody will be able to see what you're up to.
Lovely.
Mm.
Lovely. But I have also played a couple of other games this week. My plan basically was finish Cyberpunk, and then I'm going to really get cracking on Final Fantasy 14. However, I sat at the PC and realized, I never finished Chrono Trigger. So now I've been playing Chrono Trigger, which I started a couple of months ago, and I'm now getting through. I am right near the end of it, so I could probably finish it this evening if I wasn't doing this podcast.
I could
So
be
it means
packing
I'll
my bags if I wasn't doing this.
But I'm very happy to be here. So that will be next week. I will tick that one off. Chrono Trigger is like a classic JRPG from the SNES era. It was the creators of Final Fantasy who sort of came together to make the ultimate JRPG, and it genuinely really holds up today. It is a brilliant, brilliant game. It's got a really, really good little battle system, all turn-based, and it's got this fun sort of tech system where you can combine abilities and stuff like that, which is really fun. What's really, really good about it, though, is the world and the story. So without spoiling too much, it's all about time travel. And the story begins off very linearly, where, there's a weird portal. I wonder where this could take us. It's taking us through time. And then you jump through different time zones. It takes you to prehistoric times. It takes you to the future. It takes you to sort of medieval magic-y times. And you basically jump through time to follow the story, but you're solving puzzles along the way. And in some ways, it's quite an open world, especially for that era of games, where you can really jump around different time zones, and stuff you do in the past affects stuff in the future. And it's got all these little layers to it. It's genuinely a really, really clever and really well-made game that stands up today. Wonderful pixel art, a really great soundtrack. I know a lot of people here probably aren't really that into retro games. This is very much an Annie special.
Hey, Annie, are you here?
But genuinely, if you're interested in JRPGs, this is one of those classics that has not aged and is still brilliant. So I've been playing through that, which is wonderful. There was magic in medieval times. That is canon. That is historically accurate.
Yeah, there is. I think there's magic in this medieval triangle strategy game.
That everyone knows that, right?
What? There's
Every
magic.
game in medieval time has magic in it.
Yeah, exactly. Only the mage can issue the magic.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I played another game, which I did not finish, and I will not be finishing, and that is Visage. However you want to call it. See,
you've just been watching too much RuPaul.
I mean, maybe. I played the first, I think there's 3 chapters of that game. I played the first one. I shan't be playing the other 2.
You got scared.
One was enough. No, okay. There was a lot of screaming from me on that stream. And that was screaming from shock more than fear. So like that's partly the jump scares from the bit redemption. And thank you for everyone who donated and scared me. But also, it's just a very jumpy game. I could not really tell you what the story was. It was a creepy child who was possessed by a demon in a very Babadook kind of way. And then the demon sort of stalks you through this haunted house and just sort of jumps out. It's invisible and then sort of jumps out at you in your face. You have a camera that you can flash at it to scare it away, but it will still come for you. The timing is impossible. So you're kind of just walking around and then this thing just jumps in your face out of nowhere. So it's just very jumpy, but it's not a game that I'm like, oh my God, I can never touch that again. Like, oh, it stayed with me. I had nightmares all evening. Like, I literally finished the stream, I switched it off and I moved on. So it's not scary in a kind of like, oh, it really got to me kind of way, or anything like that. It's very jumpy. And what annoys me most of all with horror games, which is mainly why I don't play them, because I genuinely don't get that scared by things. I don't really get scared by horror games either.
Here he is, Billy Big Bollocks. I don't
Well, I
get scared by
don't.
horror games. I found
Well, I don't.
Celeste was too easy. Oh,
Oh, shut
Cuphead,
up.
where was the rest of the content?
Ah. No, like horror games, horror films. I just generally don't. I think it's the cynical, critical side of me that always has that kind of filter, that barrier of this is not
Mm,
real. I'm going to analyze it for what it is more than I'm going to get
oh,
sucked
yeah.
into it.
Never go
So
and see a movie that you really want to see with Ed. Because you'll come out of the cinema, you'll be like, oh my God, that was amazing, wasn't it? And Ed goes, well, well. See, I come out of watching Elvis being like, that was amazing. And he's like, well. And now I hate it because I've been told of all the
you don't
inaccuracies
hate
and
it.
all the failings that the movie had.
Okay, I had no idea about inaccuracies because I don't know the life of Elvis that
I don't
much.
know either.
But I can still criticize the film. I still enjoyed it. I had a lovely time for 3.5 hours or however long it is. But it wasn't a perfect film, and it's interesting to walk out of the cinema and have that conversation of analyzing things. Or is that just my family that does that to everything?
I'm not saying anything. No, there was something. Well, no, I mean, I really enjoyed Elvis the movie. I think he definitely glossed over the fact that he pretty much dated a girl who was 14 when he was a lot older.
Well, yeah, I mean, it glossed over that. It glossed over his relationship with the black community and sort of taking their music.
Oh, I don't know
But
if he glossed over that. I think it made it so obvious that he pretty much just stole it.
well, yeah, but I wanted more of that. To me, that was the interesting part of the film,
You want the
more
music.
than and the music and like who is Elvis the icon? How did he become an icon? How did he change the music industry? That's what I'm interested in, not his like dickhead manager who just refused to let him travel, which is Tom Hanks, who I don't like anyway.
I loved.
Because
How
he plays
can you
this
not like Tom Hanks? This is
because he
why
plays the same character in every
he plays a
film, and I
fucking
cannot stand
toy with
him.
a astronaut friend for
I
like some of his
cannot
most.
stand him. Yeah, at least in Toy Story, you don't see his face. I honestly cannot stand Tom Hanks. So the fact that the film was basically about his character more than Elvis just really irritated
Literally
me.
don't know a single person who does not like Tom Hanks, other than you.
Deal with it.
Wow. Yeah, look, you're losing fans here.
Like me. I don't care.
Mr. Miller says, "Is that the
Um,
kind of person to destroy everything you love?" Yes.
no.
What's a
I would
perfect
never do
film?
that.
You mean like Everything Everywhere All at Once? I watched, and I was nice about it afterwards to you because I didn't want to burst your bubble. But I was expecting you to come out and be like, "What a load of shit that was." But no, you really liked it, and I'm glad you did.
I mean, it was pretentious, but
Yes.
I like a film that makes you think. And sometimes that's a film that you think about it because you criticize it. Like that's also why I enjoyed Elvis. It made me think because it made me think about his life and analyze what happened in those times, and it was thought provoking, even though I think the angle of the film was wrong. Everything Everywhere All at Once was thought provoking in a kind of what the fuck was that, but I'm intrigued enough by the concept to try and work out that riddle.
I thought it was
Whereas I think
pretentious.
you just get bored by that
Yeah.
and can't be bothered.
It was very pretentious and like just stupid for the sake of it, and I just thought it was a big pile of shit. So there we go. Sorry.
So anyway,
yeah.
Visage. Because of all this, I do the same thing with games. So I mean, that's why it's my job. I get paid to do this. So I can't help but analyze stuff when I'm playing it, and therefore I get really aggravated by the gameplay of horror games more than getting sucked into the atmosphere and the story. So what I really hate is that so many horror games are about making you feel vulnerable, and they do that by basically just stripping out gameplay. So every horror game just becomes, oh, you've got to be stealthy and ignore the demon because you can't fight back. And it's like, okay, fine, that's fine for like 2 minutes until the demon finds you, and then you die, and then that loses all sense of atmosphere, and then you just got to go back and do that again. And just the controls of that game were bad. The way that you had to be so perfect on flashing that camera to get rid of him. The
Mm.
timing was really awkward. And so most of the time it just comes at you. And that's probably on purpose to scare you. And that's fine. But I just find that irritating. Give me a good game where, like, with a good story, with well done controls, where I can get sucked into it and appreciate the story, as opposed to just, oh, another demon's jumping at me and making me scream. And yeah, I did scream a lot, and that's also fine. But I wouldn't say it was an enjoyable experience in terms of it being a good game.
What's your favorite horror game you've played?
Honestly, the Resident Evil series, and I
Yeah.
know that that's really cliche to say, but I really like the strategy of the Resident Evil games, or at least the old ones. So I love Yuffie says nothing wrong with being a screamer, and that is definitely me. I really enjoyed Resident Evil Village, and it's not scary in the slightest, but it's just got that sort of camp, sort of hammer horror, gothic horror kind of vibe to it, especially with the whole Lady D thing. It's so camp and over the top that it's that really fine line between humor and horror, and I really like that.
Yeah.
I also really like the old Resident Evil games for like I said, the strategy involved in it. So the first Resident Evil I played was the remake on GameCube, and I really like yes, there are jumpy moments and atmospheric moments, and I really appreciate the visuals in that game. But the way that it plays with you, the whole like dog jumping through the window, and then every time you go past a window, you think there's going to be a dog, but there isn't. And I really like that kind of idea where it sort of plays with your expectations. I like the strategy of, right, I need to get over here, but there are so many zombies and I don't have enough like lighter fuel to burn them, so they might come back as the Crimson Heads. So you've got to be careful as to like how much ammo you take. And like I like that kind of strategy behind Resident Evil, which isn't massively scary, but that's just because I don't tend to get that scared. I was a little bit scared by that game, but I was also about 14 when I played it.
Have you played Prey?
No.
You would love Prey. I mean, Prey is I would say my third favorite horror game. First is Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I think is an incredible game.
Which has now sold over 10 million copies.
All right, nerd. And in
Well,
second,
I wrote a story on it today.
Oh, great!
But that makes it the third highest selling Capcom game ever.
Wow.
What do you think are number 2 and 1?
Street Fighter.
Nope. Nowhere close. Street Fighter is nowhere close.
Oh. Monster Hunter.
That's number 1, but which one?
Rise.
Nope.
No, World.
That's
It's
about
on everything.
That's about 7. Yes, World is the number 1 biggest selling Capcom game ever.
Yeah. Rise is better. And second, I mean not. Oh, no. I don't know. I was gonna say Elden Ring, but that's Bandai Namco. I don't know. I was gonna say something like Devil May Cry, but I don't think they sold that well.
Resident Evil 7. Biohazard.
Good, because I loved 7. 7 is my second favorite, just because I played it in VR, and it was a way of experiencing that game that nothing ever came close to doing that. Like playing that game in VR was just an experience I'll never forget. So that is my firm number 2. But third is Prey. Prey has got one of the best opening 45 minutes of any game I've played. Like it will blow you away. In fact, the only 2 games that I remember that have got amazing openings, Prey and BioShock Infinite. I love that.
BioShock Infinite?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of
When
that.
it all goes tits up. Well, I mean, yeah, the whole game after a few hours goes.
The first one is much better. Even the opening of the first one is much better.
I'll play it one day.
Oh, that's exactly. You've never played the first one. Oh my god. Okay, please go and play that.
Oh, isn't it all underwater and scary though? I think that sounds terrifying.
It's underwater, yes, but it's not scary. Like it's atmospheric. I wouldn't say it's scary. Go for it, Pat said Dead Space. I also love Dead Space because it gives a lot of like alien vibes, and I love the alien films. So I almost feel like sci-fi horror is kind of almost the scariest.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
the
and
idea of being sucked out into space.
I think I need a good, really, really cool atmosphere. That's what I need in a horror game. Give me
Yeah,
a really cool, like Silent Hill, just the, being on a street and stuff with just mist everywhere. And I know everyone bangs on about a Silent Hill remake, but just give me a game that's set in like a tiny town or something where everything is like coated in a mist, like literally Silent Hill. Uh, just remake something like that.
see,
Unless,
I've never played Silent Hill, and I feel like it's a game that I really, really want to play for that reason, because I feel like in terms of its horror, it's much more psychological, more of a slow burn, and that I think I'd appreciate a lot more than, oh my God, it's the big scary monster,
mm,
or oh, there's a demon jumping at you. Like I really want that kind of slow getting into your mindset kind of thing.
yeah. And
I mean,
also,
look, for me, the scariest thing in gaming was the shark in Banjo-Kazooie.
no, it was the tigers in Tomb Raider 2 right at the start.
Also that.
And the boulder when it came down, the big, yeah. No, I was just, yeah, Miko's brought up like Alien Isolation, which I play for kind of my charity streams or as a dare or as a forfeit. And like that is a genuinely really good game. And I've been contacted by the people who I did the last Screamathon, which sounds more sexual than it is. And I might be doing that again this year. So expect some more Alien Isolation. And you know what? In like 3 or 4 years, I might end up finishing that game because it's genuinely enjoyable. It's terrifying, but it's a genuinely enjoyable game in itself.
I haven't played it, and for me, I feel like it's giving that sort of Resident Evil vibe that I was talking about, where it's sort of, you need to get to here, but where's the alien going to pop out? Okay, strategy. How do I get around?
Yes.
What items do I need? I need to solve this puzzle. It's giving me that kind of a vibe.
Mm.
But I've also watched you play enough of it. I feel like I've experienced it already.
I'm only like a quarter of the way through. I think I just take it so slowly because it's terrifying.
Yeah,
Mm.
I will also play that at some point.
Nate says there's a horror mist vibe in that Japanese city psychic game recently. What was that shite that we both played?
Oh, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, not scary in the slightest.
No.
Not in the slightest. I appreciated the setting, but the game didn't make enough use of it.
Yeah. But yeah, what has been happening in the news? By the way, before we go into the news, something that because we had our interview last week, we didn't really get to talk about it too much. But you spoke to some very important people.
Oh, you want to bring that up?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So hang on, let me get the article up and I can give you a link.
They can go and post it in the chat. You can all click on it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it past the first room in Alien Isolation. They did too good at making the atmosphere scary. They really did, Zach. But yeah, I will be playing more of it in October, and who knows, maybe even earlier if there's any other kind of forfeit or whatever pops up.
Oh, why is it? It's come up with another site. How did
Which site?
copied my interview? Something else. Yes. So
Bit of a name,
I
huh?
was very lucky to speak to the creators of Final Fantasy VII.
What? Like
For an
the
interview.
original Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. So
they were
Tetsuya Nomura.
So they were creating Final Fantasy VII when you were like a kid, and now you're interviewing them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tetsuya Nomura. Yoshinori Kitase. I don't know actually.
Kate's is in Cardiff. I used to live there.
Sure. And then Marika Sato, who is a producer on the series as well. And we basically talked about Crisis Core, which is the remaster that's coming out winter this year. If it's this
Not
year or next year, we
October.
don't know. It's winter. Yeah, I might have accidentally put October and published it and then realized, oh shit, that's definitely not a date that I just plucked out of thin air, made up. But yeah, so I got to do a Zoom call with them, which was interesting. It's the first interview I've ever done in Japanese where it's there with an interpreter, with a translator. So there's a lot of like back and forth, which is just quite an interesting experience to go through, really. But yeah, I got to speak to them about the Crisis Core remaster. We talked about sort of linking it to remake, if there are going to be any changes. They talked about changes to the battle system, and we talked about sort of keeping it consistent across the series, because there are so many different Final Fantasy games coming out now.
Yeah.
You've got Remake Part 2, you've got the Crisis Core remaster, there's Ever Crisis, that mobile remaster, which actually looks great. There's the Final Fantasy Battle Royale First Soldier. So we talked about sort of consistency across that, like how do you make sure they're all different but still within that world. And we also talked about Sephiroth shampoo.
And people were happy with that.
The people were happy about that. There's lots of incidental text. I think you get sent emails in Crisis Core, and there's one that's it details Sephiroth's hair care routine, and apparently he uses like a whole bottle of shampoo in one go on his hair every time. So I asked about that, and they said that yes, that will still be in the game. And thankfully, that is the one bit that got picked up everywhere else.
Exactly. Well, that, you got to find the go and find the headline.
Yes.
Nice.
So that was very nice. So I got to do that. I also, which I had planned to talk about, went to a studio last week.
Yes. Had you already been and you weren't allowed to talk about it? Yes, that was right.
Yes, correct. But this was out on Tuesday. And this is Interior Night, which is the studio behind As Dusk Falls, which is a new narrative game that's out next week on Xbox and PC, coming to Game Pass. And basically, the studio is a brand new studio by Caroline Marchal. She used to work for Quantic Dream with David Cage. So she was the lead designer on Heavy Rain and the other one that I can never remember what it's called, Beyond Two Souls. So she was the lead designer on those. And then she left there and she's made her own studio. And so we had a lovely conversation about sort of inclusivity and authenticity, the fact that with this studio, they're trying to make it really diverse. It's led by 2 women. It's a really diverse team from people all around Europe, all based in London, making this game. It's got a really interesting art style. It's kind of like a graphic novel come to life. So they filmed actors on a green screen, and then they create a 3D environment, and then they place the actors' performances in that environment. But it's kind of chopped up into stills that sort of move through the lines. So it's not fully moving and animated. It's kind of lots of stills, like it's panels in a graphic novel. And they then hand paint over those to highlight sort of facial features and emotions and change the colors and the lighting and all that sort of stuff. So everything is done by hand, which is amazing. And then what's also interesting is that they're really, really focusing on multiplayer for this. So Quantic Dream games are generally pretty single player games. It's just you making your decisions. And what they're really trying to push is this idea of the way that people come together to play or to watch like prestige TV shows, like big crime dramas and Game of Thrones and all that. People come together as a household, friends, family, to watch that. The idea is that she wants people to come together to play this game together, and lean in and get involved in the choices. And so I think at least one person plays with a controller. Everybody else plays on a mobile phone. And you download an app that goes with it that's free. And then your game instance has a code that you then type into your phone in order to connect to it. And then you use your phone as a touchpad to move a cursor on the TV screen, so that you're not having to look at your phone, you're just concentrating on that. And you use that as a cursor to make dialogue choices, to make decisions in the story. There's a decision about every 20 seconds. So it's quite interactive. There's quite a lot going on. There are also some quick time events, but there's also accessibility that you can change that if you don't want them. So things like swiping, tapping on the screen, all that kind of stuff.
What day is that out?
It's out next week.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a game I will be streaming.
It's the 19th of July.
So that's very, very... Wait, it might even be... Wait a minute, that's on Tuesday, and I've got Tuesday off. Well, there we go.
There you go.
I guess I know what I'm
speaking
doing.
of streaming, there is a Twitch mode so that you can get chat involved to help with decision making. So the idea is that it's like everyone together, sort of leaning in and playing this story, which is quite different from other Quantic Dream titles, which I really like. I played through the first chapter with them. It's this kind of crime drama set in America. It's these 2 households that end up in a hotel or motel together. Lots of crime stuff going on, but a nice mix of cast members. And yeah, I just think it seems like a really interesting game. I don't think it's getting a huge amount of attention, but it is ultimately an Xbox exclusive that is out next week, coming out on Game Pass. A really interesting narrative game, and I think it looks a million times better than Quantic Dream games, which I do not like.
Not any of them?
I liked Heavy Rain when I first played it, but I think Heavy Rain came out at a time where video game stories were a bit shit. And so having anything that was so focused on narrative seemed really revolutionary. But I think when you play it again now with just that constant streaming of Jason and just really, really badly written women characters, there's a lot of misogyny. It's just not a good game. Um, I haven't played Beyond Two Souls, but I didn't hear great things about it. And Detroit was just so heavy-handed. It was awful. Um, this so far, I mean, like I said, I've only played the first chapter. This so far, I think the acting and the script is a lot better than those other games. But because the game is so focused on that, it's the kind of game where it will live and die on its story. So I can't tell you what happens later on the story because I haven't got there. But hopefully, it's a really well done story and a really good script that people will want to lean in and will want to make these decisions and see what happens. You know, it shows you at the end all these different branches. So like with other Quantic Dream games. So you can see, you know, these are all the decisions you could have made. And you can go back and replay bits to change those decisions. It also records the choices you make. And then at the end of the chapter, will list out your values and personality traits. So it will say, oh, well, you as a person were very brave, or you as a person were very reckless, or you were really focused on your family, or you know, you were focused on money, or whatever else it might be. And it gives you that personality type that gets more and more detailed as you play more and more of the game, which is quite interesting.
Oh, I like that. So instead of like, here, answer these 40 questions to get your personality type, now it's going to be like, play this game.
Literally, that's what it's like.
Interesting. Oh, but that'll be interesting with people voting in chat. Your chat are all cold psychopaths or
Who knew?
sociopaths. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, any other news? Because, well, there is another game that's out today. So today is the 1.0 release of Power Wash Simulator, the game that we've played a fair few times on stream. I absolutely love it. It's just calming. I put some lo-fi beats on. We go and spray each other and make...
We love to do that.
We do. And we make things clean.
If we're not screaming, we're spraying.
Exactly. Or both at the same time. Now, that game's 1.0
Ideally,
is out today. And we're going to be giving away 6 copies, not 1 copy. Definitely not 2 copies.
Oh.
No, not 3 copies.
Oh.
Not 4 copies.
Really?
No, maybe 5? Well, not 5. Well, we will give away 5 copies, but we'll also give away another one to make it 6. 6 copies.
Very nice.
60 copies of, Power Wash Simulator. That will be very soon, actually. We'll be giving them away at pretty regular intervals because we're only going to be streaming for just over another hour. So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll race through this last bit of news. First up, a quick Twitch story. And that is that Twitch are reducing its minimum threshold for payments. So at the moment, you have to make a minimum of $100 in order to get a payment. And they are going to be reducing that to $50 instead. So that means that maybe smaller streamers that don't make quite as much money, that have to wait, you know, a long time. It means that you get much more regular payments, which is lovely. It's not happening just yet. It starts from the 15th of July, which is tomorrow.
But it's payday tomorrow. Well, hey.
There you go. But it starts in Argentina, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and Taiwan. So, you know, all those well-known streaming countries.
Spain is very big.
They get it first.
Yeah.
That's true. Well,
Latin American streamers are huge.
Yeah.
Spain's big, but like Latin America and like I know I'm just grouping them all together right now, but I know some huge Argentinian streamers.
Yeah,
I even follow a couple for some reason. I think I was trying to learn Spanish through Twitch, which is actually, you know, I did learn a bit.
Yeah. Other countries will follow in the coming months, but it does say that they want it done by November. So I don't know when it's going to hit other countries, I guess specifically UK, US for most people here, or the rest of Europe, but we don't know just yet when that will be happening. but hopefully soon. One thing that is very interesting in their blog post is it says, one day we'd love for you to wrap up your stream and already have the money you earned from that stream in your wallet. So whether the next step from this is then we get like weekly payments and then it becomes by stream, that would be lovely. Maybe that's something they want to work towards.
Or if somebody
just
imagine if somebody subbed and then it automatically like deposited into your wallet and you could then like withdraw that wallet whenever you wanted or empty it whenever.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah. Nice.
That'd be lovely. And then we've got lots of wonderful LGBT plus news this week.
What's this wonderful LGBT news that you have?
Well, the first is that there is a Season of Pride collection on Steam.
Oh.
And this is presented by Midboss. Midboss is a publisher based in LA, I believe, who focus on LGBT plus games. And so they have basically handpicked games for this collection. Some of them are on sale. Some of them are just part of the collection.
Some are coming soon.
And some
a
are
lot coming soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's got things like Celeste, If Found, Arcade Spirits, sort of the Necromancer, Tell Me Why, Paradise Killer, Boyfriend Dungeon, lots of other ones. There are some to Wishlist, which aren't yet out. I really like that they have put these into categories.
Yeah,
so
I love these.
Trans and MBs for Life, POC Leads, and my favorite is Be Gay, Do Crimes, which is lovely.
Aces and Arrows Wild.
Yep.
And my favorite category, free to play.
Of course, that's your favorite. How much?
How much? Nothing. Oh, grand.
Grand. You'll be lacking that. Oh, does that not work?
Lecking.
I said lacking.
You said lacking. You said it was such a posh accent. Oh, we're going to be lacking that.
How dare. They will also be doing a Season of Pride sale on the eShop. So keep an eye out for that. And they're doing various fundraising streams as well with lots of different streamers, many of which I'm sure you'll know, for lots of different charities. So there you go. That's
excellent. Nice. Well, yeah, they are great. I think they messaged me about something and I didn't reply. But yeah, they are great.
Well,
yeah.
There you go.
I was busy.
More LGBT news. Nintendo Japan is recognizing same-sex marriage, even though Japanese law does not, which is a really nice thing. So basically, they have their corporate social responsibility information on its website, and they have an introduction of a partnership system, which they introduced in March 2021. And basically, it means that employees in a domestic partnership with a same-sex partner have the same benefits in the company as employees in an opposite-sex marriage.
Oh.
And that's despite the fact that in Japan, same-sex marriage is not legally recognized.
Yeah, unfortunately, the government there don't. I don't think they're. I know that they're quite conservative with that, and the those in charge, the liberal. I think they're called the Liberal Democrats. That party is very kind of conservative. Which is, and we can link in to, because since we last streamed, the former Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, was murdered. And then they had a far-right politician posting a picture of Hideo Kojima saying, look at this, the far left. It's like, oh. And I really, really do hope that Kojima does follow through and sues the arse off that guy and the badly researched news organizations that reported with an image of him, because that's just, I mean, calling somebody a murderer.
I mean, awful.
Yeah,
just awful. Mon is asking if there were changes recently. Sadly not. Literally just last month, there was a lawsuit in Osaka that ruled that under the constitution, the definition of marriage did not extend to same-sex partnerships. And also, and the article I linked to in this was from like 2019, so I actually don't know. I'm presuming it hasn't changed since then. But trans people are required to be surgically sterilized under Japanese law if they want legal recognition of their gender identity. So Japanese law is really not LGBT friendly, but at Nintendo it really is, or at least they're really pushing for that. They also had a statement from their president about gender diversity in the company, which was really nice. So within Nintendo, at least, they are definitely trying to push for this sort of diverse mandate. I guess my thinking on this is partly that it is a global company. And so I don't know how much sort of, this stuff happening in Japan also impacts other countries, and maybe they need to be the same across, Nintendo of America and Europe and everything. I don't know. But at least Nintendo of Japan is recognizing that, which is something.
Good for them, because the politicians there don't seem to, and the people in power there it seems to be the same. I believe it's the same political party for a long time, and it doesn't look like they're going to be changing anytime soon. And the guy that was murdered was not a nice person whatsoever. So
there we go. But on the same day that we reported that from Nintendo, we also got some other wonderful game news, because Nintendo basically said gay rights yesterday. Between that and finally the release date for Bayonetta 3. Slayonetta, which is the 28th of October. So only a couple of months to go. The trailer looks incredible. Now, you still haven't played the other two, and you have to do
I've played most of the first.
Most is not good enough.
I saw the bit where she shot she shot a statue, like a pissing cherub statue up the eye, and it exploded, which I know I loved it when I played of it. But right. I wanted Bayonetta with like modern controls and modern graphics. Okay, definitely modern controls.
But you haven't played Bayonetta 2, have you?
No.
Because the controls in that are different, and they are infinitely better, and that's why that game is immediately a million times better.
Okay, good. Because
so Bayonetta 2 is a vast improvement over the first one.
Yeah, because it used to be where it's like, I just want better graphics. But now I'm like, no, I want better controls. If a game controls well and looks a bit shit, there are many games that don't look amazing, but they play so well, I'll happily keep playing. What game would that be for you? That looks pretty crap, but it plays so well, you just can't stop playing. For me, I'm going to say Red Dead Redemption 1.
No idea.
I mean, it doesn't hold up as well, but like the controls are just perfect. Whereas Red Dead Redemption 2, the controls are terrible. It's like you're playing in mud.
Oh. I mean, just most Nintendo games, to be honest. I feel like Nintendo are just really good at the movement and the feel. You hear the stories of when they developed Mario 64. I mean, you haven't played it.
I played a little bit.
But they spent so much. I mean, it was their first 3D game, but they spent so much time just focused on Mario's movement to get all his different jumps and the momentum and all that kind of stuff, like just right. And I think they've just kept building on that again and again. Like Mario Odyssey, the way that he just throws the hat and jumps and whatever is just, it feels so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just Nintendo games in general are like that.
Yeah.
But yes, a nice long new trailer for Bayonetta 3. Lots of detail in that. She has a new ability called Demon Masquerade, which means she can channel the demon linked to her weapon for new action and options. She can summon demons for direct control in big demon and demon battles, which is amazing. What's very interesting is that there are multiple Bayonettas. So they have shown a Bayonetta in sort of red and gold armor, or a red and gold outfit. And it seems like there are going to be multiple Bayonettas. Whether this is some sort of Bayonetta multiverse or whatever, I don't know. It sounds really interesting. There's a new character called Viola that you get to play as well. There are a lot of Devil May Cry references, I think, in that trailer. Viola to me looks like a sort of female Dante with a sort of white spiky hair. There's a pose of her holding a sword behind her back that just looks very Dante-esque to me. There's like a sort of lava spider boss that is ripped straight from Devil May Cry 1. It feels just very Platinum, basically. And the other extra thing that they are including is a new mode called Naive Angel Mode that basically covers her up. So, as you know from playing Bayonetta, her outfit is actually her hair that is skin tight. And her hair is the source of her Wicked Weave magic attacks. and therefore spins off of her and leaves her naked when she's attacking. And so they've now added a new mode that stops that from happening, so she stays fully clothed all the time, which is not canon because her hair must be removed. But it does mean that if you're out and about playing it in handheld, you're not going to have people looking at your screen like, "Why are you playing a weird nudie game?" Because you can turn that off.
How
If that sounds-
boring.
How very boring. Like I love how camp and over the top Bayonetta is, and I'm down with that.
All right.
And then one last announcement this week from Nintendo is a brand new Kirby game.
Oh yeah,
Kirby Dream Buffet.
Kirby
Which
guys.
is kind of like Fall Guys, but not. It's essentially who can eat the most food as Kirby to become the chunkiest Kirby. And what's not to love in that?
Yeah.
It's a party game. It's digital only. They didn't give a price, so I don't know if that means it's going to be free to play, or if it's just cheap, or if it's going to be a game that's included in the subscription service. Who knows? We can hope. I kind of suspect that maybe this was an extra mode from Forbidden Land that they then sort of took into its own little extra thing. But yeah, it looks really cute and really fun. And watching the trailer made me very hungry.
Does Kirby get bigger the more you eat, and then you can eat bigger things?
So you have to eat strawberries whilst rolling through food-themed levels, and then it weighs you at the end, and whoever is the chunkiest is the winner.
Okay, interesting.
So there we go. That's to
Yeah.
look forward to.
Yes.
That is out this summer.
Well, it's bloody summer now with this temperature. All right, so I think we'll call it there for the podcast, but stick around because we will be playing a little bit, not very long, of Power Wash Simulator, where we will be giving away, how many copies? Was it 2 copies?
No. It wasn't even 3.
No.
Or 4. Or 5.
6 copies. 6 copies.
6 copies.
So stick around and we will give away 6 copies of Power Wash Simulator. But also, please, I mean, we're going to be doing all sorts over this weekend at TwitchCon, so expect videos, expect streams, tweeters and all that. So yeah, you'll be sick of us. I imagine I will have like half the number of followers by next weekend. So with all the spam that you're going to get. So yeah, make sure you're following.
Next week's podcast, we can then do a full sort of rundown of what went.
Debrief. A debrief and why Ed will not be appearing again on the podcast.
How dare.
But yeah, that will be next Thursday. But yeah, we will be putting lots of. We'll put some videos up probably. I will record some stuff and stick it in a video on YouTube, which is youtube.com/swappingjoysticks. In fact, go to swappingjoysticks.com. It's down there, and you can go and click all the links. We'll be putting stuff up on YouTube, on the Twitter, and also on we'll be probably on this channel on Twitch. But yeah, so Ed, like if people want to see what only you are doing on this weekend, how do people find you?
You can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at ed_nights with an N.
And I'm Biggest Bennis or Biggest Bennis 1 on Biggest Bennis on most places, including YouTube and Twitch, and Biggest Bennis 1 on the old Twitter. So
very nice.
Goodbye. Is that it? What's the goodbye thing? Do we do anything?
We'll see. Well, we'll see you next week. Be there or get swapped.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.
Through the joystick.
I'll see you. Keep your joysticks to yourself.
Never.